Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to Split View. It's my favorite day of the week again. It's Monday
Okay.
for us, anyway. You're hearing it on a Sunday, but it's Monday for us. We're back in the quote unquote studio for another podcast. It's my turn for some research this week, but first I want to talk about my very shit trip that I had
Okay.
this week because it was I can't remember if I mentioned it in last week's show. I think I mentioned that I was going on a long trip, but I went to visit my good friend. He graduated from basic training as an airman now, aircraftsman from the Air Force, and we drove. Me and my good friend drove for 14 hours on Monday, and then another 14 hours on Wednesday through rural Australia, which, as you can imagine, was fucking boring.
Sounds fun.
It was not. We literally drove through a town called Bland.
What the
That
fuck?
is
Where
not. That is not a lie. It was called Bland, and we tried to play I Spy at one point, and we had four things. We had roadkill, tree, or rock.
Was there even car?
No.
Okay.
Like we
creepy.
kept making the joke that we saw more dead things than alive things on the way up there.
Okay. Wow.
And because this is a lovely intro, by the way, I just realized.
Well,
But
that's
like
fine.
because all the roadkill that was there, like this isn't attended in any way. So it was all like full fucking like skeletons with like half-eaten flesh all over them, and I hope everyone's eating while they're listening to this. Yeah, and I think there was a place called Gundong and Goobang.
Are these like Aboriginal kind
Yeah,
of
I
named
think
places?
so.
Or...
I probably shouldn't be making fun of them, but
It's fucking strange, Jordy. They deserve to be made fun of.
well, yeah. What else? Yeah, nothing really. Those are my favorite stories to tell. But there was a nice little.
Are they really though? Are those really your favorite stories to tell?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just needed to like get it off my chest because it was such a fucking terrible
Yeah.
thing to do. I mean, it was cool that I got to see him and stuff, but like it really that's a rough amount of time to be in the car with anyone.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's get into today's topic, which is religion.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I hyped up that this was going to be a big one last week, and I think now that I've told you, you can agree that we'll have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can we make this episode?
we can make this episode
Is
because
this gonna hear the light of day? We'll see the light of day.
here's how I see it.
Yeah.
We're not split in what we believe,
Okay.
but I think we have different views on how it should be in everyday society, I guess. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so. That's kind
Let's,
of a
let's just see how we go
contentious
with this
thing
one.
there.
Let's just see how we go.
All right then.
So I've did a bit of research, and on record there is approximately 4,200 religions. If you
Nice. What
So
what classifies as a religion, Jody?
as far as I know, it's when someone has at least a certain number of like participants
Okay.
or whatever it is they identify themselves as, and they need to be registered in some official way as a religion. So there's about 4,000. We know of like the basic ones is like Catholicism or like the everyday ones.
Satanism.
Satanism, Scientology.
That's not a religion.
What else? I don't know. But it's defined as a faith or belief system to help guide you through your life, which, you could agree is a very loose way.
Does that mean that list includes cults, or is that kind of stopped by the registration thing?
Technically, I would say yes, because
Okay,
cult is a
that's
word that like was made up for more extreme
every word's made up, Julie.
religions. Huh?
Nothing. It's a shitty
Well,
joke.
well, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I think we both pretty firmly sit in the atheist category.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not in like, we're not going to go up on the streets and if we see a Christian person, like, throw rocks at them and tell them they're fucking stupid.
Nah.
It's just that, like, we're both, and I think anyone could say this, like, started speaking to me, then yeah, I'd believe. But until
You wouldn't question it. You wouldn't think there's some psychopath with a projector trying to fool us.
Well, maybe I would now that you mention it, but like,
Yeah.
Until we both, we need some proof, the two of us, I think. So
Yeah, I guess so.
And if we had it, we would believe, right? We would have no
Yeah.
choice to. But at this point, I don't have any real proof that these gods and deities and whatnot actually exist. So I can't, in my mind, believe it.
Okay.
But I mean, often these gods and deities will use like scare tactics, which if you've heard of like Old Testament God.
Yeah.
Have you heard about like his wrath? Like I can list off a few things that this is in our Old Testament Bible. I've done a little bit of research here. And there was one time
That's a big list. Holy shit.
It's a big list. This isn't just that. Like, this is all my notes for the episode. But, like, there was that one time where he drowned the entire planet except for Noah.
Oh, nice.
And his family. You remember that?
Yeah.
Classic I could probably do a whole episode ranting about how impossible it is to believe that he managed to build a boat in 2 weeks with no architecture or experience or in building arcs to house 2 of every single animal without them killing each other or anything, and also where did he get them all? And so many questions that I have. How did they not eat each other?
That's the unbelievable part, Jody.
Yeah,
that part.
And that he survived that, and somehow the human race didn't die with him. There's that.
Yeah,
but I more wanted to talk about with this whole episode. Like, there's a few more examples. I'll get to them in a second. It's like I should just preface for people so they can click away if they're not interested.
Okay,
but I wanted to see whether... I've got a big section on here about like whether it should be forced upon people when they're younger. Because we both went to the same school. That's how we met. It was a Catholic school. And we, that's, for those of you who don't know, it's like you have a class dedicated to religion. And you learn about that. You have masses when you have your like school assemblies and all that sort of stuff. Like those are big events and whatnot.
The part you're talking about, like the main part of a Catholic school, is that throughout your entire time there, they passively to actively teach you about God and all that. Like they say you have a choice. But I know you're kind of generalizing like the topics we're going to speak about. I just want to, speak. I noticed this and I thought it was kind of fucked up. Like, you say people have the choice in believing in a religion, but you go to a Catholic school, like this specific school, and throughout like your entire childhood, they teach you about God, like as if it's just a fact. And they're like, oh no, we give people a choice. And it's like, are you going to choose the thing that you've been learning about your entire life and been like essentially forced upon you? Or are you going to like choose something else, like actively search out something, I'm
very glad that you said that, because that was my main argument, or not argument, but like what I wanted to discuss was the fact that what parents do is very, very impressionable when you're putting it towards a young mind. Like they're very moldable. That's why we grow. We take so long to grow, because we mold with our environment and we take in everything and believe it as fact. When you're a kid, if your parents tell you God's real, you'll believe it. Like you'll believe it until you get a bit older and you start to go, I haven't really seen him around much. And
it's like Santa.
Exactly.
You're told Santa is real,
then when you realize that, hey, Santa's handwriting looks a lot like Mum's, you start to work it out. But like, I feel I've got a note in here that I do believe that you should, and this is going to sound a little extreme, but I think there should be age limits on churches and any form of religion, purely because I don't think you are in a headspace to believe or comprehend, I should say, any of this until you're at least maybe our age, 21, because you have a grip on things. Maybe like your brain fully starts to, develop when you're older than that even. But like once you're at our age now, which is 21, which he reminded me and I forgot, was like we can understand now that there is a chance that he's not real, there is a chance he is real.
We can see things objectively without bias.
Exactly. And we have the free thinking ability to question. Whereas when you're a kid, you take and you absorb, and that's about all you do until you're at a point where you start to very slowly do things yourself. And when you are like in prep, which is like, I don't know, kindergarten, I guess, like to anyone who isn't listening from Australia, you're taught from there. The school that we went to was prep to grade 12. And like right from the start, you were already in masses. You were doing prayers like to open the day. Like before you would even start school, you would do a prayer and you would do the roll call.
It's like a normal part of life. You know?
It's just like how it is. And I did not question it for a while myself. I know I didn't. I was just like, and I still get the niggle where I'm like, because I was told so much, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't diss it because maybe he is real. And maybe if I am definitely going to hell, which at this point I think I have to face that I am, because I've broken a few
if you're atheist, you don't believe in hell. So.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I ain't going there because it ain't real.
I mean, I think we can comfortably say that there cannot really be anything when we die.
Well,
we're pretty much worms meat.
I don't know. I mean, there's... What the fuck even is a brain, Geordie? Like, I don't know. You know...
It's the same feeling you had for the millions of years before you were alive.
Exactly, yeah.
Fuck all.
Yeah.
And...
There is I don't... sorry to derail you, but, like, apparently if you die of a natural, like, death, your brain just releases a fuckload of DMT into your, like, system. Yep. You know... You'll probably feel something.
Yeah, you get high as fuck.
Your perception of time might be fucked up enough that feels like an eternity of
I think that's like the defense mechanism for when you die, so you don't like get like it doesn't sort of fuck you up too much or something. I don't know, like it doesn't hurt or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's just like the fail safe, I guess, that the brain has. Yeah, I've heard that as well. All right, let's go into a few more fun little things that Old Testament God has done. Fun little things. So there's, the time he drowned the entire planet. He did also help the Israelites murder everyone in Jericho.
Oh,
everyone.
Fantastic.
In Heshbon as well, Bashan, and other, like, entire cities, just acts of genocide. Just because he felt like it.
They were non-believers, Geordie. What are you supposed to do?
Exactly. And if you thought that he was trying to keep it, like, pure... Or like like sort of a Hitler sort of view on things, he didn't, because he also helped the Israelites kill 500,000 other Israelites for no reason apparently.
Alrighty.
So yeah, darker side of religion, like there's obviously the quite literal dark ones like Satanism and all that.
You know what Satanism actually is? Satanism is not occultism. Satanism is a religion created recently to protest like occultism, basically. So Satanists are actually really nice people.
I do know this from like listening to quite a few other podcasts, like the modern sort of
satanic. Cheating on us, Geordie? Listen to other podcasts?
Oh yeah, man, because I just do nothing but listen to our own podcast all day. But there's quite a few that we know of now to not be all sunshine and rainbows and all that sort of thing.
They have a goal that's not to help people live their lives. It's to help someone get rich.
It's to help someone get rich, or it's just to like make yourself feel good.
Yeah.
Which, if you put that in the wrong Jeffrey Dahmer's hands, you want him to, if he just wants to feel good by like fucking dead bodies or something.
Is he the other guy that the Kool-Aid dude?
The Kool-Aid dude?
Yeah, or Flavor Aid.
Did he fuck dead bodies?
What the fuck? Where does that come from?
Jeffrey Dahmer. I made a joke like a fucking minute ago where he was like, anyway, fucking dead bodies.
Okay, whatever, sure. Yeah, that's a thing to say.
He did.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah.
He liked it. He had a great time.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid guy, you were telling me a story.
Let's move
Tell
on.
me the story.
Well, it's who's I think maybe you know the Kool-Aid dude, right?
Yeah.
He's the one that like poisoned people like that. I don't know, the fucking Starship thing. There's a bunch of shit in my brain I can't get at properly. There's one guy he created his own like little religion to like, he never killed anyone, but he made people kill people. Like he was his own little religion. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's like the whole Charles Manson effect.
That's Charles what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
whatever.
He never actually killed anyone at all. Yeah. And and he's the one who got all the fame in the end. So. That's not really fair,
Fame.
Yeah, he's famous for it.
He was a cool dude.
I'm about to start reading Helter Skelter at the moment, which is a book like about him, which I haven't started yet.
That's his that's his rapture, isn't it? Helter Skelter.
Pretty much, it's like that's the famous book about him, about his life and everything that happened with him. But anyway, we could do another episode on serial killers, maybe. Okay. But so it's a little bit overdone.
I feel like that's a bit of an oversaturated market.
Yeah, maybe not. But I do want to like tangent off from the darker side of religions and say that I actually do envy almost people who can believe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wish I could die happy, like not having like terrified of death. Like I wish.
I remember distinctly when I used to work as a store manager. There was a guy who worked for me, and he was a very fond believer in God. And one time he sat me down and he just asked me, "Why don't you believe?" And
I feel like that's something someone asked before they stab you.
Well, yeah, he was lovely, but
Okay.
my answer was just like, I just don't have any proof. That's all I could really say. And he was like, but you don't need any
faith, Geordie.
Yeah,
faith.
that's what he kept saying. He was like, just
blindly believe.
And I was like, but I can't do that.
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't know how to explain to you why I can't do that.
Mm.
And he was like, oh man, but it's like, it makes me feel so good.
It's cool, dude. It's cool. Join the club.
Yeah, like, but it's like, I'm envious of it. I wish I could do it. I wish I could do it because they always seem so much more fulfilled with life than I do.
They seem that way.
They seem that way, I guess, yeah. But like, and man, this is gonna sound terrible to all the people in like. Sure. I've just realized, like, in the in the audience listening to us or whatever. But like, I have in no way, any sort of qualms with anyone who's going about their everyday life, believing in what they believe in. That is fantastic. I fucking love that. Like, if that makes you happy, unless what you believe in is fucking dead babies and like running over puppies with steamrollers, then
Geordie, I do have a problem with those people. Like, I do, funnily enough.
That's what I'm saying. Like, unless you are them, I fully support what you do. Like, this is not an attack. This is just me trying to explain my views on it.
We're just talking about
because this is our platform, and I like to talk about things. And I feel like most people will probably agree with me. Like, if you think of it subjectively, that it should not be taught in schools, and it shouldn't be forced upon you at a young age at any point, purely because you, like, think about it. You're also teaching your kids about the Easter Bunny, about Santa, and they believe that without a second guess at all. So when you tell them, little Timmy, if you kick someone else in the shin, you're going to burn in the seventh circle of hell. Like, he's gonna fucking believe that.
It's a complex issue. Like, kids' entire, like, the brain when it's young, it thrives on information to help you survive. And if someone tells you, hey, you're gonna be fine if you just believe in this, that's gonna be accepted as like a survival tip kind of thing. So kids are very impressionable. It's kind of
that is what you spend the first like so many years of your life doing, is absorbing information, like I've mentioned. And I myself, like, I'm quite an anxious person. So when people would instill this sort of stuff in me, which did happen to me because I went to the school that I went to, like, it would make me nervous when I would like sin, quote unquote, like, when I was very young, and until I sort of like realized when I did it that nothing happens. And I was just sort of like ever so slightly like going like, hang on, like, I don't really have any proof and nothing's really happening when I kick Timmy's shins or like do something silly that's quite technically not a sin. And I feel like it just, for people who are like me, I know I'm not the only one who gets anxious about things, that's for goddamn sure. So I'm 100% certain someone listening to this has also had a similar experience with it, and I just don't think it's very fair.
Like, that's
at least one.
Not to devalue your experiences or anything.
No, absolutely not. That's why, like, I want someone to hear this and realize that, like, you don't have to like follow something because that's the way you were brought up. Like, it's very common to just, the family keeps things going. And I don't think that's
the cycle
fair.
Continues.
Yeah, the cycle continues, exactly. Now, a big inspiration to me for even doing this show is Ricky Gervais. Now, do you know much about
him? Absolutely. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, he's done heaps of stuff about religion and all that sort of thing. And one of the like quotes that I like from him, which explains it very well, is if you destroy every single scientific book in the world, get rid of them all, and you burn them, and you destroy every single religious text in the world, the science books will come back exactly the same, and the religious text will be completely different.
They're based on fact.
Exactly.
Hard-earned, fucking objective research and, understanding of the world, whereas religion's just some book that some guy thought up.
Just think of the amount of mouths that it's been through in the 2,000 plus years that, when it was supposedly Jesus was around, and like, it's been through so many people already. Like, we already don't have the original version of it.
Yeah. There was a period in time, I want to say I literally learnt this in religion of all places. There was a period in time where everything was communicated verbally. Like there would be specific people that would like know this book, and that'd just be repeated like over like lifetime to lifetime, and then eventually like it was written down. So could be fucking nothing like how it was originally written, you know?
I seriously, like, I'm pretty sure there is bona fide fact that there was a man named Jesus at that time who was doing quote unquote miracles.
Yeah.
Which at that time could be surviving past 30. Let's face it. Fucking hell. So. Yeah. Like back then, Jesus. That's who we're talking about. Geordie, you shouldn't say that name in vain, or else I'm going to hell. But yeah, like the that quote sort of, after hearing that was when, because I started listening to his sort of Ricky Gervais's stuff like a long time ago, and when I first heard that, that opened my eyes a bit. I was like, whoa, that's fucking true.
That's deep,
like,
man.
No, not deep, but it's shit. Like, that's fucking true. That's very true.
Really true.
Like it's the word of mouth means that the Bible that we know right now that is printed, and it's probably, if you're staying in a hotel, it's probably in the drawer somewhere, is passed down through like 2,000 mouths. If one guy changes one word, that could, you're living by that.
Yeah.
Like one guy who accidentally fucks up and says like, you know, Moses built a boat and not all the animals died. It just flooded in his town.
Right.
But if they just said, oh, well, you know, the world flooded, because some guy's a bit of a drama critic, and they put a oomph on it to make it better. And like all of a sudden, you know, you have all these stories, and I don't know, it's a blind thing that I don't think people should be following these days. It leads to like, for me, like inability to believe in a lot of things, because like I definitely am not able to like follow religion now. I like that's pretty much out of the question for me in my lifetime, I think, because of like this experience. So for the people that do have it, like, by all means hold on to it, please do, because like there's a certain nihilism that comes with like not believing in anything. I think.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I guess so. Yeah. It's interesting, kind of you speaking about this being like indoctrinated from childhood kind of thing, because I went to a different primary school to you. Like I only came to your school like after graduating grade 7 somewhere else, and that it was a public school. It wasn't religious though, so it did have RE class, but that was like an opt-in kind of thing.
Yeah,
you didn't have
really
to do
like
it
mandatory, or
it was just some like nice dude reading us stories, you know, like it wasn't like, you know, Jesus is Lord. It was just like, hey, you know, Jonathan did this one time and shit happened, take it or leave it. So yeah, I grew up like not like, no one, my mum isn't religious. My biological dad, he is religious, but like he never really like forced that or anything. Like his, I don't know, I guess he believes in God, maybe, I don't know. But I was never like pressured or anything. So I've just seen it as this thing that people do that doesn't really relate to me.
Yeah.
Like I've never been able to like accept that like a religion at all. So I've never been Catholic. I've just always been atheist. And coming to that school that you went to, it was stunning to me. It was really fucking creepy. It was like, I don't know, like no offense, but walking into like a cult or something.
No,
like,
I see that now, and I saw it the more I stayed there.
Yeah.
Like it was, I was like, this is like a little fucking strange. Like I wasn't brought up like devout, hardcore Christian, Catholic or anything. Like my mum was. Like I can't really remember. My memory is not great, but like I don't think we ever like went to church religiously, I guess is a good word for it.
Sick pun, dude.
You know, but like we did do things like we would for Easter and for Christmas we would do like the midnight masses, whichever one of them you do a midnight mass for. One of them you do.
I don't fucking know, dude.
I think it's Christmas. And you know, we would do all the like the big sort of events, and when we were with like family, we would go to church because our other family members would be. And then sort of as she realized that it wasn't really like sticking with myself or my brother or my sister, she sort of weaned off it, and none of us really follow our faith or anything anymore. But yeah, it's interesting, like, because I don't really, it's coming across like I resent religion in every way possible. I'm just saying that, like, from my experience, I don't think it's very fair to.
I'm fine with religion. I just don't think it's fair to, like, force it upon children, or, like, they don't call it forcing. They just literally, like, religiously teach it. No pun intended. And then give them a quote unquote choice. Like, they're not going to choose the thing they've been learning about for, like, decades.
Exactly. Like, when you've, like, devoted time to, well, you haven't devoted time to it, but, like, out of your day, when you're a kid, there is all this time that is pumped into religion.
Yeah.
You start to just go, like, oh, there's like quite a lot of, you know, books and stuff about this. This must be a real thing. Because, you know, you're just taking things in, right? And you go, oh, there's a lot of stuff about this. Everyone here's talking about it. Everyone here, like, we all do maths and stuff. Must be real, right? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's pray to God.
I have something to say. This might be offensive, but, like, the point of religion to me, right, is, well, not to me, obviously, but I see it as kind of a coping mechanism to other people. Like, a family member dies, they've gone to heaven, they're okay now, they're at peace. Like, that's kind of a way of saying, like, it's okay that they've died, you know, like, they're at peace. Or, like, what am I supposed to do in life? Oh, you're supposed to be a good person, you know, like, I just see it as, I don't know, like a comfort blanket. That's really mean to say, but, like, if not those things, then what is the point of it?
I think for most people, it's a guide for their life. Like,
do you really need a guide not to be a shit person, though?
Well, no, I don't think it's just to be a good person. I think it's a general guide to just sort of take some stuff off of you. Like, if you've if you've got this, like, person, this God, whichever God it is, that helps you through every day, it is a comfort blanket, but it's not. For some people, it could very well be a coping mechanism, but I think it's just something nice to have in the back of your mind. If you go, like, oh, I did the right thing today, like, this feels good. In God's eyes, this is good as well. And, like, it means overall, if I keep doing good things, I'm going to keep feeling good. And then whatever religion you have's idea of heaven or the afterlife is, you know, I'm going to be good there as well. I'm going to, like, and you're right. If we didn't have any religions, 90% of people would be nice and be like, you know, just very functional people who would, you know, but I feel like, you know, it hasn't made much of a difference having religion in certain people's lives or not. So if you're, I don't agree with people who will, like, force their religion on you. That's like everything else is wrong except for the way that I see things.
Yeah, people who are, like, I want to say this is going to be really offensive, Muslims or, like, Islamic kind of religion, like, the hijab, like, women have to wear that out in public. Like, they'll...
Yeah, that's women, a big tradition sort of thing that they have.
Forcing that upon other people, that's kind of fucked up to me.
Yeah, because if you're, like, a girl who's born into that family, like, you would definitely... Like, I am not educated enough to really talk about this subject, but, like... I imagine you would be forced into a lifestyle, for sure. Like they wouldn't let you think about not wearing one. Like, that you would be wearing one, and you would go to school that way. And you're like, depending on where you were born, of course, if you're born into a traditional family in a traditional country, then chances are you will be raised traditionally, right? It's the environment you're in, and if you're going to, like, force, like, I feel sorry for the people who try to force their religion on other people, because it's like, chances are they've been brought up so intensely with this one view that they can't even comprehend anything else. I want
to say someone was reading, like, the Quran or something, and they described it as like a militaristic self-help
or something.
No, self-patrolling, self-indoctrinating religion. Like, it's a religion that teaches you if people do bad things, you should punish them. And it just keeps continuing so that without, like, people, they learn this, they like, accept it, and then they like force their traditions upon people, and then they just continue it. They teach their children to like beat people if they don't follow the religion. So
yeah,
I don't think that should be a religion. I think that's a fucking like cult, military kind of
I agree
thing.
Like to an extent, like it is a bit cruel.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it judgmentally, like it is a big guy who will send you to a terrible place if you do anything wrong. That's a general thing for most religions. I think it's pretty safe to say, like, there is an all-powerful being, and you need to do the right thing as according to that god or deity to be well liked or to fit in to your religion.
It seems to be a part of every religion, though. The whole concept of sins in the Old Testament is like, hey, if you don't do this, God's going to do this shit. Here's a list of things he's done in the past, so fucking straighten up, fucker, or you'll be like punished.
Almost every single religion has a sin and a correct way of doing things, like a good thing. I'm not really sure what the opposite word is for a sin, but like they all have a good and a bad, because you kind of have to, because you can't have all good, because that's wouldn't work, and if you have all bad, no one's going to fucking join it. So you need to have like a reason, an equilibrium, I guess. And you know, it does piss me off, like when I hear the people who are just so fulfilled, I guess, by like, because all they've heard their whole life from it is how this one god out of the more than 5,000 unofficial, like there's thousands and thousands of them, and it's like they believe in one out of that, and they are so sure that one is right.
Yeah, how do they fucking know? How just because they were taught that by their parents?
Because they were taught that way. And like, so like they literally don't know any different.
And part of the religion is not to question the religion itself. So
no, that's a very good point as well. That's a good point. Like, I don't think you should be able to like say that part of it. Like, if you're going to send your kids to a Catholic school, to a whatever, right? Any sort of religious based school, do not like use the whole thing where it's like you can't go against the religion.
Yeah.
If you go like, if I would have, like, that would have changed a lot for me if they had have said for me like, but there's other options as well. Like, you can be a good person without needing this. It would have made me like taken a weight off me, I feel like, because it's just, it made me, I'm a very impressionable person even now. When people tell me things like who I trust, who I know in my life, I will believe them a lot of the time.
Hey Geordie, the world's flat.
Yeah, I know. Okay. That's next episode.
Yeah. They do some fucking crazy shit. I want to kind of, I have something to talk about. Dude. I want to kind of,
go for it.
Do you want to continue?
No, you go for it, dude. Go for it.
Speaking about flat earthers, there's a documentary out there where they want to prove the Earth is flat, so they bought a $30,000 laser gyroscope, and they like set it up in this like contained sealed box, and it was like, oh wow, the Earth is rotating slightly. Well, we gotta buy another $40,000 to put this in and float it like magnetically levitated. Like, it is kind of like a religion. Like, they just don't. They're trying to find evidence that the world is flat, and when it's not, they blame something else and be like, oh no, we're just not doing it right. We just need to keep continuing.
Yeah,
you know.
I see. That's a very common. Like, that's a very good example, because they, like, that can be applied to a lot of things, like blind faith in something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's just reminded me of, like, the whole vaccines cause autism thing. Like, there's so many people where they say they've got, quote unquote, we have all this proof, and you have, like, one...
I have 3 good Google searches.
Yeah, I have 3 good Google searches to your, doctor's piece of paper who says it's okay, you know? All these doctors who go through grueling years of medical training who know that it isn't bad for you and it fucking helps you. You know, like, it's... And yet there are so many people who, like, there are fucking kids dying because of this.
Yeah.
Like polio and all this shit. Like, malaria, smallpox came back or something.
Measles as well, that's coming back as well.
Yeah, like, because of this. Like, and I feel like it's a somewhat recent thing where this came from.
Yeah.
Like, this to me sounds like a 4chan joke. Does it not?
I was thinking that like
I can totally imagine someone making like an official like looking page, and like, sharing it to like Facebook Mum, Facebook. It
started
groups.
Off as a joke and just spiraled out of control, you know.
And now there's people like the flat Earth thing almost as well.
I think you can't fight these people because if you give them evidence, they'll be like, "Well, the government's lying to you."
They're so closed-minded, and this is who I'm like sort of directing the podcast to, I guess. Like when I say that it makes me angry, it's like that level of intensity towards like unable to see anything else that I have any qualms with. Like it's just like I know so many people who are like Catholic and I fucking love them and all that sort of stuff, and I'm envious of them to the utmost degree because I can't do it myself. But like it's just...
the thing is like we're talking, sorry to cut you off. We're talking about this talking about the bad sides of religion, but 99% of like religious followers aren't bad people. They do great things. It's just this
like
we're talking about this little subsection of like radical people. So
like we tend to look at the darker sides of a lot of things, and I this is a topic that's dear to me because I grew up with it, and I just wanted to talk about like the darker side of it, like the fact that me objectively thinking, I just wanted to mention that I don't feel personally that it's an okay thing to do at a young age. Do you think it would be weird if we slapped like you need an ID to get into a church?
I think 21 is a bit too late. I feel like even before then, like
16 or something.
With me, like I was at 14, I just didn't have any exposure to religion. I was still like questioning that. So
maybe 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, like around like just not in the impressionable years. You know?
Like there would, if anything comes of this for some reason, if they're like there's a group of people who know a hell of a lot more than me about the brain, that's for goddamn sure, and they can determine what an quote unquote like unimpressionable brain is. Like once you get to a point where you have a grip of reality, your own reality, and where you are in the universe and all that sort of thing, like that you can fully understand that there's, if you believe there is a god, or if you believe there isn't one, you know, like, or if you're a Satanist and you like to cut the throats of lambs and drink it.
That's not Satan. That's occultism.
Well, yeah.
Don't be dissing my Satanist boys.
Everyone has a passion,
you
know, and you need to follow that, even if it's drinking baby's blood.
Yeah.
Especially
maybe
if
not
it's drinking
that,
baby's
maybe
blood.
Not that.
Send it to our business email when you do that, by the way.
Which we don't have.
Yeah, we do have one.
A Gmail account, Jody?
Yeah, that's our Gmail account. That's our business one.
Fucking at Gmail account? That's a business email.
Us and send it to there, please.
That's a business email.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off from what you were talking about, if you remember what you were talking about before.
Nope.
All right. Well, I think I've mentioned my sort of main points that I had on it. And I can remember when I was in school, there was a lot of times where we would be doing the masses and all that sort of thing.
I just thought about something.
Yeah?
I have a really fucking strange story that you might have been there for, but like, if you want to continue your sentence.
I was just... I remember one time I was just sitting in one of these masses, and I just looked around, and like our school at the time had 1,000 or so people, maybe.
Yeah,
in it. Like I left in like grade 10, so like there was nearly peak amount of people there. Like it started off a quite small school, and then it went up and up and up. And I was looking around at all these people, and I'm like, all these people are just doing this.
Yeah.
Like, and it sort of scared me a little bit. It was like, I was looking around, I'm like, everyone is not even thinking about this. They're just doing it.
They're just kind of accepting it.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's when I realized that, like, fuck, I might think a little differently to, like, other people. And then the more that I spoke to more people, the more I realized, like, hey, does anyone else actually question this? And they do.
Yeah, like, there is, I'm sure a decent amount of them thought that was fucking pointless.
Yeah.
Like, not everyone that goes to a Catholic school is Catholic.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Anyway, what was your story?
I had some sort of a moment like that. You might have been here, like, that little church area? That's kind of, also, do you remember the donation thing they did for that?
No.
You might not have been here, but this is kind of fucked up. Like, they paraded us down to the little church building near, like, the prep area of all places. And they were like, okay, here's the pastor, whatever, Philip or something. And he came out and he was like, we need donations to build this church's stairs. And he went around to literally every single person, was like, would you like to donate money?
What?
Yeah, like, And then after that, like, almost no one did. We went back to class the next day. The one of my teachers, like, I guess she was really religious. She was literally yelling at us for not donating. What? She was like, that, Pastor Philip, he has shitty stairs. You need to fucking donate. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, do you know what donating means?
Yeah, like, see, now that is the point where I stop agreeing with it.
Yeah, we look at my main story. We were in the church. You might have been here for this. Like,
maybe, yeah.
Do you remember Mr. Hart? Like, maybe not. He was this, like, quote unquote cool teacher, right. But he was like really cringy. Like, one time,
Fortnite's good.
That didn't even exist.
Well, I know,
but you probably said Minecraft is cool.
Oh yeah, man.
Which we actually liked Minecraft, so whatever.
Actually, I still like Minecraft.
Yeah, I fucking love Minecraft. He would do really cringy stuff. Like, he got up at the start of one of our, like, bad classes with a lot of misbehaving kids. He pulled out headphones from his pocket and he started cutting it up. He was like, "These are from a kid who misbehaved. These are from a kid who didn't listen." I thought you meant
like he would go up to kids and just take the headphones out and cut them up in front of them.
That's what he was insinuating. He was insinuating that he just took some kid's headphones because he was listening to it and he cut it up. But then someone was like, "Hey, aren't those your headphones?" He fucking cut up his own headphones as his demonstration.
That's awesome. That's fucking
And then he didn't have a response. He didn't say, "No, these were kids." He literally was like, "Yeah, you got me."
That's fucking hilarious.
Mr. Hart, he was really religious, like, kind of fucking crazily religious.
Right.
Like, we were in the church one time and he was, like, speaking, like, about faith, and this is really fucking strange now thinking about it. He got up and he was using his little microphone. He was like, "When I was a little boy, I was in a church just like you right now, and I did not believe in God. I didn't have any faith. And then I looked beside me and I saw an eye.
Oh.
I saw a big blue glowing eye staring at me, and I realized that was faith. That was faith staring at me. I see that eye right now looking at you, children."
That's the fucking PCP kicking in, is what that is.
That was fucking strange. I was sitting there, I was like, where am I? Like, why am I doing this? Why am I sitting here? Why am I at the school? Who the fuck is this guy?
That's fucking weird. I definitely would have remembered that if I had heard about that.
They just acted like that was normal.
They do. Like, that's just like, there was a few teachers who, like, didn't really care about it, like the ones who didn't show up for all these masses and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, a lot of them would, and they would get, like, super involved. And, like, I'm remembering now, like, all the like, there was a big craze around Ash Wednesday and all that sort of thing. Do you remember that, where we would get, like, the ashes on our foreheads?
Nah.
Like, they would I don't know where they would get the ashes from, but everyone in all 1,000 people would, like, circle around, like, their chairs, or if they were, like, the younger kids sat down on the floor, everyone would stand up at once, and they'd play some, like, hymns and stuff in the background, and we would walk around in circles, like, between two rows of chairs, and they would put, like, a cross on our forehead out of ashes, and we would sit down, and we'd have to keep it on all day, and all that sort of thing, like, yeah. And it's like, you know, like, if that's what helps you feel good at the end of the day, then I want you to do that.
Yeah, if it, like,
I actively want you to do that.
If you're not murdering babies and you're just using religion, like, well, you're practicing because it makes you feel good and you want to be a good person, that's fine.
Yes,
like,
fuck yes, dude, do that. But, like, this is sort of like a very niche episode that I'm aiming towards people who are thinking the same way that sort of I am, or you are, or, like, you know, like, just who aren't quite sure, and are maybe, like, trying to find something else to sort of place themselves in the world. You know, like, if you hear it, if this helps one person or whatever in any way, like, and you're not sure or whatever, like, just, like, you can do whatever you want. You really can. Like, we're in a time now where you can live the way you want to live. Like, there's so much good shit. Like, we've talked about so much bad stuff that happens in the world, but, like, there's a lot of good shit at the moment. I mean, go buy yourself a Nintendo Switch. You have a great day. You have a great day.
Maybe don't do that, Jody.
Go buy a Nintendo Switch.
Don't buy Nintendo's underpowered console.
Sponsored by Nintendo. Just kidding, it's not.
I would love a Switch if they gave me one. I just don't want to spend $500.
Switch. They're fucking fun as hell, dude.
Underpowered, Jordy?
No, I know, but, like, it is. There is something cool, like, even in this day and age, about, like, plopping it in there and then it's just on the TV, and I can use my controllers for a bunch. I can strap some cardboard to my face and be in VR.
Throw up.
Yeah, throw up simulator.
If you used that, you wouldn't be able to, since you've used my Vive. Like, you would literally throw up using Switch VR.
Yeah, I don't know how they can get away with that, especially with, like, young kids.
That would fuck up the eyes. It really would.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking when you told me about that. But like, you know, how are we doing for time, by the way?
We're at 45 minutes.
Brilliant. That sounds good to me then. I don't think we'll do a second part on this now that we've sort of talked about it. I feel like we've touched base on the important things that I wanted to get out. And if anyone out there, like I said, is thinking about, they're not sure where they are at this point in life, just know that like you can quite literally do whatever it is that you want to do. Like we're just, you know, some dude sitting in a room talking about stuff.
Okay.
If you want to do that, just go find a friend and talk about it. Like just have fun, man. Yeah. Just do what you want to do. Like we both fucking love this. So this is like our favorite day of the week, coming here and doing this for sure. And you know, you just got to find that. You got to find your split view. That's what I'm going to end it on. Sure. You got to find your split view, everyone.
Yep.
Have fun. Love yourselves. Love everyone else. Be kind.
Love your dog. He's a good boy.
Yeah, he is. Okay. Bye, everyone. Goodbye. See you next week.